We're live. Ha-ha. Better 60 seconds late or 3 minutes than not late at all.
Better late than never.
I don't know.
I think that's how the saying goes.
It might be. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is Bird Dog Chat with Ethan and Kat. We are live from the Standing Stone headquarters, which is where we pretty much always do this. And a fun, exciting thing for the evening is the puppy cam. Go ahead and throw
By
it around
request.
Was it by request?
Yeah.
Well, someone is smart. Look at that. As always, 7:30 at night. The puppies do not disappoint. They are past
Out.
the bleep out. All right. So some of the really cool things about puppies is when they eat and get to run around and pee and poop, they are ready for a nap time. It's at this point they probably sleep 20 hours a day.
It feels like it. It feels like they play for very short bursts of time and then they're right back to sleeping. So pretty cute though, even if they're not playing. As we were getting the camera set up, they were definitely trying to lick the lens. So we repositioned so that was no longer a viable option for them. But if you guys are new to our Bird Dog Chats or have been here before, you know the routine, or you're going to learn the routine here pretty quick. So we get a whole bunch of check-ins, so we like to roll through those, and then we talk about our topic of the evening, which is beating the heat and summertime training this time. And then we will open it up to questions at the end. And if you have a question that's burning a hole in your pocket, you can throw a super chat up there and we will give those priority. Also, if you are tuning in for the first time and would like to participate in our Bird Dog Bingo game of the night and win a Standing Stone water and Outfox mask, which Charles has little store thingy dingies to show you.
Except so my laptop still doesn't load the Outfox mask in the store.
That's so weird.
That's so weird.
Because it literally works everywhere else in the whole world.
Yeah.
And
but
the water.
Water looks beautiful.
It does look beautiful. So,
here's a just Outfox mask. We get asked all the time on our story about these.
What
when we
are
post
these hostage
dogs.
masks or
so
bags?
maybe we can pull up a picture of a dog in a mask.
I'm sure
we've got like a gajillion of those. But to play Bird Dog Chat Bingo, you can get your bingo card from patreon.com/Standing Stone Kennels. All you have to do is be a patron for as little as $5 a month. You get your bingo card, and the bingo card basically is a whole bunch of idiosyncrasies and things that Ethan and I do throughout the evening, and you mark your bingo cards down. So we've got a few people with cards already pulled up, so that's awesome. So let's get into our check-ins. Scroll up.
You're there.
Oh, that's the top. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Really? There. No.
That's it.
Now we're at the top.
Is that no?
Annie
that's not
having.
even the top.
I'm
Why
pretty
is it
sure
not scrolling?
It's not scrolling. It's not working.
Yeah, there's 3 above Annie.
Yeah, technical difficulties. It's not working. Why?
I don't know. That's odd. Mixer says he's hot.
There it goes.
There it
it's
goes.
Working. Melanie Carlson from Otsego, Minnesota. Thank you for joining us. Aaron Mumblu from Minnesota. You are always here, it feels like, which is awesome. We have our tried and true diehard followers here, and then some new people. John from Solana Beach, California. Bet you're enjoying checking out these puppy cams from the Muddy and Arlo litter. Annie from Pretty Prairie. Whoop, whoop. Eileen from Southern California. You made it back after your outing to New York. That's great. Mark Odenbach from New York is here. Brian Gaddy from Colorado Springs. Kaylin Kelly from Alberta. That was who made the suggestion that we do the puppy cam. So I was
solid.
Like, we'll see what we can do, and we made it happen. Angelo Giacomini from New York. I know where, that's for sure. Donna from Vegas. Oh, wait, no. Vacationing in Vegas and Howell, Michigan.
I'm making faces at the bar. Like, what do we have over there? What
another
are the
international check-in, another Quebec, Canada. Delano, Minnesota. We've got South Florida checking in. Basin, Wyoming. We've got another Canadian check-in, Alberta,
Hopefully.
Canada. We've got hello from Kansas, y'all. We've got the Florida Keys, Northern New Jersey. Hey, Miss Kelly, thanks for joining us.
I'll bring a new one over.
Michelle and Chuck from the Seminar with Bob. Thanks for joining us, guys. Hello from Colorado. Thanks for joining us, Tina. Technical difficulties is always on the bingo card, so you better be getting that one. And then Nebraska. Awesome. And then I have no idea. Can you do, like, translate that or something? So I'm assuming very international check-in. I can't even pronounce that.
Oh, I can do it on my phone.
Fancy.
Because kind of a fun and exciting thing that most people probably know but don't know. We, and it's gone.
Oh, scroll back.
I have a pedigree program for the racing pigeons. A lot of people know that I do have the pigeons. There's pigeon talk, pigeon videos, blah, blah, blah. Kat teases me about it and everything else. So the part of that, though, is we have a lot of international people, and I had to figure out how to communicate. So I do a whole bunch of Google translating and sending translated messages back and forth, which is a function. This is Korean. It says, hello, 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 my friend. Ha-ha! I bet that's close.
Perfect. We've got another check-in from Missouri, Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and I think that's it for right now.
And that was a small batch bourbon, because that's on somebody's card, I know. Taylor is good stuff. We actually have a dog named kind of after it. Which one do you have?
So this is, I get to do a show and tell tonight because this never happens. Literally
Making
over the
Annie
last week.
People are too nice to you.
Yeah, and they now know that I'm a gin girl, and so you used to get all this bourbon all the time and gifted all this bourbon, which was amazing, and I would get a gin or something sprinkled in here and there, but Charles and I went out to Colorado for the Western Slope NAVHDA chapter. He's actually wearing the NAVHDA shirt tonight that we also got there, and
Oh, that's cool.
Tina Metcalf, who has a puppy from us, and she ran out there that weekend, and Jade did great. She got a 112 prize one.
Perfect score.
Max score at her NA test.
Maximum.
And she brought me this Woody Creek Distillers Mary Select. It is delicious. This gin is colored with butterfly pea flower extract. And so after the test, when Charles and I went back to the hotel and before dinner, we swung by and got some tonic and had ourselves a couple gin and tonics in the hotel room, and it was superb. So thank you so much. And I'm trying to decide what I'm having tonight. So thank you. And then we went out to the seminar in New York with Bob, so the Lone Stone Seminar. And it was a great time, and I got 3 bottles of gin while we were out there. We did not plan accordingly for our checked bags to come back with so many bottles of alcohol and syrup. So we had to pack very creatively, but I got
hold on one second. There's a question about the bingo cards.
Oh,
Sorry to
okay.
interrupt.
No, you're fine.
When you are on your cell phone, if you're going to the link through Patreon, it's probably just a goofy thing with the app. I would just copy the link and play via your web browser. Try that, if I understood the question correctly, but go.
And then Angelo out there at the Lone Stone Seminar brought me a bottle of
and
Empress.
Michelle is here now. She's got the moon water ready.
Oh, yes. Thanks
That
for
was
checking.
helpful.
Yeah, we literally got spared from rain the entire weekend, which was great.
Fantastic.
So this is delicious. Thank you, Angelo. Also,
Tina is in the house as well.
yeah, I saw her checking in. Yep, that's why I was like, oh, this is awesome. And so anyway, this is also colored with the butterfly pea extract, which is really cool. I hadn't really seen the purple gins before, and that's you'd think it made it much more sweet, but it really, really didn't have that big of an effect.
A
So-
Korean hunter and dog trainer.
Oh, awesome. And you're translating now. That's so cool. And then Julie, who also was at the Lone Stone Seminar, brought me a barrel of Bar Hill gin, and this is really cool. It's made with juniper and raw honey, and it is actually a little bit sweeter. You can actually taste a hint of sweet with the honey.
there's honey
And
to it.
the cork was like sealed with wax. It was really cool. And then this bottle was from Kevin, which is Bob's brother. I drank the bottle that Bob got me while we were there, the Roku Gin, the bottle.
Atta girl.
And I did not have help. But we were there for 6 days, so that's understandable. Anyway, Ethan, no comments. But this is distilled from New York
married a long time.
State apples, and it is also, you can totally taste.
It smells like apples.
You can taste the apple in it.
Yeah,
it's very
gotta check this
interesting.
out.
So if you're gonna make a gin and tonic tonight, you can absolutely try some of this. So I'm trying to decide what I'm having tonight. So if you guys have any suggestions or votes, let me know, and then I'll mix myself a gin and tonic. So.
We have a couple little announcements, one of which is the seminar that is upcoming. Well, first, I want to say we're hosting the first ever test on the property, and it is with the
Kansas NAVHDA chapter.
Yep, Kansas NAVHDA chapter, and it is a 3-day test. Very excited to have everybody out. Also, super excited about all the volunteers and the people in this room making all of it happen as well. Annie, thanks for organizing everything.
Test secretary and then Charles is treasurer.
I'm her, whatever she tells me to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So super excited for that. I tried to make time for it to go buzz down and show off our duck search water, which looks amazing. It's kind of a crazy thing. We almost manifested water there. I just know this is a thing now because literally it's the only pond in the county that was holding water at all. The only one. And a local farmer, a good friend too, he stopped by and was like, hey, what are you doing to put water in that pond? I said,
I don't know.
nothing.
But we've gotten a little bit of rain this last week too, which
so it'll
is
be full.
definitely.
After last night, it will be.
Yeah, it's probably flowing
Yes.
over the
Yes,
spillway.
yes.
So it's going to be a great test. We've got a variety of dogs running. We've got NA, UPT, and utility. I get to judge on Friday with Charles, and then I will take a back seat, no judging, because a whole bunch of dogs are going to be running from Standing Stone Kennels, and so I won't be judging, but I will be rooting and volunteering. So it's going to be a really fun, full weekend, and I'm excited for that opportunity to have that out here.
I get to gun my first ever NAVHDA event. I'm excited for this.
He's never even done the NA gunner stuff. He's like jumping to utility and UPT gunner. It's going to be awesome.
He can kind of hit a bird or two.
He can do it.
A little qualified. The other side of it though is we have upcoming next weekend. Oh, so the big thing is first utility test being hosted by the Kansas NAVHDA, so we're happy to be able to help make all that happen. Next thing is next weekend. We have 1 week left, maybe room for 1 or 2 people, maybe. If you are interested in the seminar, the cool thing about this, again, is it is triage in a sense. We're fixing what you need fixed or help with.
From a dog training standpoint.
Correct, from a dog training standpoint, but then also the guest coming in to help with the actual animal triage or fixing that. Very qualified. I'm excited. He typically does more military-based stuff, but it's going to be good from a what do you do when your dog gets impaled by a stick or shot or is bleeding out in the field. These are some of the things. We're also going to
overheats, which is another thing we're going to be talking about tonight. So that's kind of a nice segue.
Yes, and just the ability to feel more comfortable, because I would guess, show of hands in the room or on the internet here with us, how many of you feel confident that you could actually save your dog if something like this, something traumatic that was going to kill them, was happening in the field? Would you be ready when you take them on walks, hikes, hunts, or not? And I answered that question honestly, though I've been doing it for years and years and years. I really don't think so. I mean, it would just come down to...
It was a serious deal.
We've had broken things and cuts and whatever else, and those aren't life and death in those situations. They need to be taken care of, but the dog is not dying there. So getting out of the not fun stuff to talk about, but this is why we do things. It's going to put all of us in a zone where we can be challenged and learn, and that is next weekend. The dates are not in February. The
28th, 29th, and 30th.
Yep. So we'll do a kind of half-day evening-esque on the 28th, and as long as we get a little bit of the cooling effect coming in, we may have some opportunities, depending on where your dogs are at, to do something, but it's more of a meet and greet and figure it out. 29th is mostly dedicated to Saturdays, mostly medical-based stuff, and then Sunday we'll do more dog training there. So a
and
fun
the really
weekend.
cool thing that Charles really mentioned is about the vet triage side of things is it allows you to learn how to stay cool under stressful situations, because the number one thing that can go wrong is you lose your head. You get anxious, you get scared, you don't think right, you rush things, and instead of taking a breath, calming down, and working through the situation and keeping a calm, cool head, you can definitely make things worse if you don't. And so this actually allows us to learn a lot in the classroom as well as apply it in more of those adrenaline rushing, anxious situations with a dummy dog and actual stimulations.
It moves, breathes, bleeds, does all of it. So you have to
keep it alive.
Yeah. You have to get a muzzle on it.
Staying alive, staying alive.
It's also, I think he'll go over, because one of the things that, how many people actually carry stuff in their pack or on them.
That's the one thing that we're excited about is adding that.
A mini kit.
Yeah, something
go,
you can
go back. That's
a mini med kit, yeah.
Yeah, because I started doing it at the ranch the first year, and then the second year they required us to for people, but I just augmented my little stop the bleed kit with a thermometer and a muzzle. And I mean, I have a lot of stuff in the buggy, and we are close, but if you're in South Dakota and sharptail hunting, you might be 2 miles from the truck. And if something, hits a T-post or something weird happens, you got to do it with what you got on you and what do you have? So that's another thing that.
Or people up in Chukar country.
Yeah, way up there.
You're way up there, way far from your truck. So
absolutely.
Anyway, and then last but not least, when we're talking about seminars.
Do you have any other announcements?
I was just going to say, we are going to be announcing next year's Lone Stone Seminar very shortly, because the couple number one critiques that we got was people want more time to plan and prepare, especially because the Lone Stone Seminar switches from either New York to Kansas every other year. So this coming year, it's going to be in Kansas. But people that live halfway across the country, or in Eileen's situation this year, she was clear across the country, traveling from California to New York for the seminar. So sometimes you need a little extra time to plan. So we're going to be announcing that for next year very soon, so that people can have a heads up about it, start planning, making arrangements, as well as we'll be talking about it and continuing to talk about it. But we'll announce it on Patreon first to all of our patrons, so that they get the first opportunity to sign up if they want to.
Because it always sells out, and we made an exception to add a couple people this year just because they were
local or clients or something like that, and we wanted to make sure that they were involved. But definitely, will Dr. Armstrong be there for
this coming weekend or this next weekend?
Nope, he is not the vet that will be doing the triage seminar.
I'm surprised that you think he would be. No, I'm totally kidding. He's I'm lucky enough to get to hunt with him all the time as my traveling veterinarian. I feel more confident. It's probably handicapped me quite a bit too, because I don't even really think about it. Just got the guy with the stuff and the know-how.
Nobody's made a suggestion, so I'm just making my own suggestion.
You're just picking.
That's the one I would have picked, because I know of the 4, it's delicious.
Because you haven't tried the other one.
I know.
So.
I'm getting there. I'm hurrying up on mine. No, I've had Empress before. Yeah. Empress
so last but not least, in the realm of announcements or information, hunting in South Dakota. What I ended up doing, because of so many people's requests, I only had 2 slots available, and this is something that I talked about. It's in the works with the GDIY crew, so be looking for that for the potential of a hunt. But there is it's opening week. It's an arrival on Tuesday the 22nd. I'll put all this out there, or just email us, contact@standingstonekennels.com if you're interested. But the hunt aspect of things is to arrive on a Tuesday, hunt Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, opening week in South Dakota. And so many people said, I've got 2 people or 3 people or 5 people at the most, and they want to come. So I'm going to put together 2 small groups, and The folks that are signed up already, and they've hunted with me before, really, really good people. So they are looking forward to fill that group out. Anywhere between 4 and 6 would be the maximum. That can be 2s or 4s or whatever. But there is an availability for a small group of people to come hunt wild pheasants with me in South Dakota this year. So that's all the announcements.
Aaron's already got a bingo?
What happened to your mic?
I don't know. I hit something.
You touched it.
Write it
better?
down.
Is that
New
better?
cables. Yeah.
New cables coming soon. Yeah, so we got to check. Aaron thinks he's got a bingo already. Haven't even gotten into the meat of the live stream yet. Just these
Meat and
announcements.
potatoes. Let's see here.
Right there with a free space.
Says, plug the store. Dr. Armstrong. Hunting the Dakotas and no.
Nope.
Top,
And he did.
he fishes for a lot. He's smart. He's smart. If you aren't cheating, you aren't trying. I don't believe we have plugged the top right corner. Sorry.
And I'm not going to say it because then, like,
No. Close. But the main topic of discussion for this evening is beat the heat, or essentially things to think about, things to avoid, and things to prepare for in the heat of the summer. First and foremost, I want to talk about something that we have dealt with a lot.
Did you end up finding a picture, Charles?
No, let me look real quick.
These Outfox masks, which are something that we're using not exclusively, all the time. We're using them all the time when dogs are running in the field this time of year. On free runs. Free runs are different. The dogs get hotter. They do more breathing. They go adventuring into the zones on our property that we know we need to be more careful in. The main training area has very, very, very minimal issues. But mean seeds, this is the time of year that you need to be paying attention to this. The things to be looking for in your specific area are going to be any type of seed head on a grass, typically warm season grasses, not cool season grasses, but anything that has a head that has dried down and the seeds flake off of it, or you can grab them and they kind of poof in your hand, or any of those things.
Or they've got like that barb on them that helps them migrate.
And even though not the barbed ones, because Indian grass is what we ran into with Vex.
Not always barbed ones, but those
correct.
are ones as well.
Correct. So looking for any of the different types of grasses this time of year, typically they're going to be, mostly they're going to be warm season grasses that you're going to find in habitat areas, CRP mixes, whatever the combination of the above. These are things like rye, Canada rye. There are lots of varieties of rye.
Foxtail.
Foxtail looks similar to rye. Rye looks kind of like wheat, if anybody's familiar with winter wheat. So that's similar to what it is going to be. And we do have areas on our property that there's a rye issue, and we're doing everything we can to get rid of it. Mowing, spraying, burning, all of it. And I think that we will have her licked, but it's something to pay attention to. The other side of it would be cheatgrass is another one. Literally Indian grass, little blue stem and big blue stem typically aren't a big issue, but there's a lot. If you see a seed head on it and it's dried down, you and your dog need to be careful this time of year. Things to be looking for. If your dog is sick or has an issue, it could pop up anywhere from a week to a month from now as it migrates and moves and does its thing. But they're going to seem lethargic. And when they do, it's going to go down very, 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 very quickly. And it's a big infection that happens that they, kind of fake it till they make it or don't. But here's a great picture. All the dogs, it takes them literally seconds to figure out how to run around with them and get used to them. They can drink out of water buckets or whatever. You've got options for them to drink out of with the masks on. And they can get the masks off. So we clip them all to their flat collars.
Yep.
And
With a little Velcro strap that.
The Velcro strap still pops off, especially
Okay.
if they get into the. So I use a little carabiner, just a little
Gotcha.
cheap carabiner.
Gotcha.
And that still allows it to flip off. Like they don't get stuck. It'll still flip off of them,
But we
it
don't
just
lose
stays on
them?
their collar. Because there's
Really good at
there's
losing
3
them.
or 4 around here somewhere.
On the property,
Yeah.
in the field. And the nice thing, too, about these is they can still see with them. They can smell with them, all the things. We were recommended to look into these by one of our clients and somebody that follows us, Emily Cox. She said to get them, look into them, and she said that their dogs run around with them all the time, and they call them their little hostages while they're wearing them.
And
So
I have seen a dog pick up a dead bird and bring it to me with one on too.
Really?
and
Yeah.
they can retrieve.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I think we did this last time I showed this picture. Do we know who they are?
Oh.
It was way fresher in my mind, but I'm pretty sure I know who they are. It's hard when you can't see their face.
I need to zoom in a little bit.
I know who the front 2 are for sure. It's a mother-daughter combo in the front.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I've
know.
got the front and then the back, it looks like.
And this is almost a year and a half ago. No, not quite a year ago. Just a year.
Yeah.
I don't know
No.
if is anybody guessing on the
Yeah,
YouTubes?
guesses are coming in, but
Oop, I pulled my bingo card up. I moved the picture.
is the Wider Dog's legs.
Yep. That's Legacy. And then you got the mother-daughter combo.
Oh, that's Muddy and Shock.
Yep.
And Shock's in the front, Muddy's in the back.
Yep.
So I was a little confused because I thought you said mother-daughter in the front.
And I was like,
and I
that
was
is
like, I
not
feel like that's
Legacy's,
not Legacy's
mom.
Oh, no.
I was
I
like,
meant
You got
mother
me for a
and then
second, too.
daughter in the front.
okay. Got it. Okay.
Uh-oh, somebody else got a bingo.
The big thing with the masks is the number one thing to get them ready is be ready to run, put them on, and go run. The longer you let them just have it on where they're standing around, they'll try to figure it out. Once they're running, they forget, and then they don't bother them anymore. But if you let them stand around, they will figure out how to get it off, and then they will not forget.
I don't even see...
Another card that has it.
I don't see your card, Melanie, in here.
Maybe hit refresh.
I'll try here. Oh,
Is there another page or something?
nope. It scrolls up and down. I don't see it. You got to help me out here. I don't see it. All right, so we will continue looking, Melanie, but I don't see that you even have a card in there, dear. Confused. Sorry for the pause there, but the next piece is sorry. Look here. Send me a picture of it. I had to refresh the. Is it this one? No, that says Tina.
Send us a picture, Melanie.
Yep. You've got my numbers. Text it to me.
But another thing that people commonly have a misconception about is, well, if it's hot out, I can just swim my dog and that will fix that situation because they'll stay cooler in the water and they'll be wet and all the things. And though typically the water temperature is cooler than the air temperature, it can still get really warm, as well as if the dog is spending an exorbitant amount of time in the water, they can overheat just like they can on land because they're actually not able to have evaporative cooling happen by getting up out of the water and that air movement causing them to cool off. We were talking about this in preparation for the test this weekend. Typically, you think about order of events at a test. You get your field work done first, then you might work into your tracks, then your water. And we're actually, especially because some of the days is going to be a combination between a natural ability dogs and utility dogs or UPT dogs, we're actually going to get the field out of the way for both levels of dogs first, and then get duck search done, because otherwise, as the afternoon heats up and those dogs are spending that much time in the water swimming, we don't want them to overheat. So just because it's water doesn't mean it's going to keep them cool. So keep that in mind, and don't let your dog overheat working in the water for prolonged amounts of time in the summer.
The other side of it, though, is with the little bit of new information that I personally have learned about ice baths. Everybody has probably seen the big craze of sitting in ice cold water for a short period of time and how that stresses your body and it does all of the things. So it talks about water being extremely efficient in dissipating heat. So it doesn't take a lot cooler water than what the dogs are, but it is important just to be considering what Kat was talking about with the temperature of the water and how that would equate to the temperature of the air and how dogs would be affected in that. I was reading and zoned out. Did you talk about the Charles's formula for Texas?
That was the next thing that I wanted to talk about is people always ask us, well, how hot is too hot to be working my dog? And the thing is, it is there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors. So not only are we looking at air temperature, we're also looking at, what the temperature feels like, which includes humidity, and dogs' conditioning plays a huge role in their acclimation to that temperature. So you get a dog that is from the north, not used to super hot temperatures or humidity, and then you go down south where it's hotter and more humid, and they have no time to acclimate and adjust to that. That's going to be a lot harder for them to adapt to, as well as Charles, when he was down in Texas, especially this last year, it always is like, well, when can I run dogs to be safe? And you have a formula that really seems to work.
Yeah, it's basically, and I think I got it from a NAVHDA seminar too. But basically around the 140 mark when you combined temperature and relative humidity. And the reason it works so well is because you can go, well, it's 75 degrees outside. That's not, it's not terrible, right? 75, but it can be 80+% humidity down there, and there is zero evaporated. I mean, you cannot cool them off, and they just stay wet. And it's almost worse. I would rather it be 80 and 40% humidity, and the dogs can go, especially once they've been down there for a while.
But that humidity really just traps the heat, and they can't evaporatively cool, and it's thick. Even when it's humid when we're working, it's just like you're drinking your air, and it's so uncomfortable. So
my little weather station said 98 one time, and I was like, it cannot be 98% humidity. And I looked outside, I'm like, oh, I can see the water. It is definitely...
It's not actually raining,
it's
but
just
it's
wet.
just hanging there. Yeah.
It's almost like you're in fog. So I remember one time Kat was in ROTC, and when she graduated, I rode with her mother cross country. This is when she and I just started dating. Cross country to
back in the day when there wasn't GPS and you used MapQuest.
We did use MapQuest. We got lost in St. Louis, and then we got really scared and had to give some people some money in the middle of the night because they gave us directions.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't want to die, so we did, and then got back on the road. I just remember sitting in the car for so long in the air conditioning and it being cool and getting out and steam just rolling out as the cool air was hitting the super humid air from Kentucky and getting out and it taking my breath away. I can't breathe because the air was so humid and so thick and so gross. So
that's real puppies.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Especially when they wake up.
Was that a little pee spot? Or number 2?
Yeah, somebody's trying.
Who does number 2 work for? So, long story short, you need to pay attention to all of the things. The key factor being you need to trust what your dog is telling you. Our dogs are working breeds. They work hard for us. They are not lazy. They are not trying to take a day off. If they come out, no matter what the temperature is or the humidity is or the sun is doing or not doing, all of these or if you feel cool, you think, or whatever it may be, all of these factors playing into what's going on, you need to, I mean, your dog's also in the grass lower, so they may not be getting any amount of breeze that's coming. All of these things. If your dog comes to you and says, I am too hot, and they're panting like crazy, that way where you can see their tongues out, their airways completely like this black hole, and you see all of these things, you've gone too far. So you need to be paying attention to the stuff that the dogs are showing you. Trust your dog. That is the key. Trust your dog. What was the number, 140? Yeah, 140 temperature combined with relative humidity.
And that's going to vary on, it's kind of like you have to figure out your dogs. 140 is right on the edge of some of the dogs can do it, some can't, and I have to be careful.
Well, and I've even had dogs that are extremely heat tolerant and dogs that are extremely not heat tolerant.
Right.
So one dog specifically, really, really nice dog, Arthur, and that is just for anybody that can track the lineage here. Arthur was out of Maverick, which is Shooter's full brother. So that's a Cali Cash puppy. Art was bred to Bella, which would be, this is going way back, folks. That's an Izzy. Reggie puppy.
Ooh.
And nobody even knows who those dogs probably are other than people in this room.
That's a lot of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Reggie was solid black.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. So Arthur, I mean, if it got above 65, he was dying. You know, like, dude, it is cold outside still, and he was dying. He just was not heat tolerant. But then Jenny, my pointer, she excelled when the temperatures got above 70 degrees. If it was 55 degrees, she would literally stand in the field and shiver.
Be all bristled up.
Are a wimp. You are just quitting today or whatever.
Just too cold.
When I guided in Texas, it was like, it's 75. Jenny will run, and she'll run the whole day. It doesn't matter. And it wasn't like she would be exhausted or she'd be hot. She just ran all day. So all of that being said, trust your dog, know your dog, believe your dog in,
and never
in
think that, I'll just work them through this, or I'll just make them work a little bit longer and they'll build up heat tolerance or humidity tolerance or whatever you're trying to do. You're going to cause a problem that you're not going to ever outlive. A dog
they can acclimate, but it can't be done in a day.
It has to be a slow process and very diligently done, where you're not overheating the dogs and pushing them too hard. Because if you overheat a dog and they get heat stress, whether that you want to call that heat stroke, heat exhaustion, whatever, then they're going to be so much more susceptible to heat, and they are not going to recover.
Comes back faster and stronger, harder, if they get back into it. He's singing over there.
So what size masks do we use? We use different sizes based on the size of the dog. So some of the dogs use mediums, some of them use larges.
I would say 80% of the short hairs are mediums.
Okay.
And then the cockers almost all wear smalls.
Okay. I would say that dogs with a longer muzzle, like Muddy or Nix, probably would be more comfortable in a large grit.
Yep.
Just they have that longer snout, so then it's not bumping and rubbing on the end of their nose and causing abrasion. So I think there's sizing.
There is
on here.
I believe so. Yeah, but I would say 80 to 90% of short hairs are going to be mediums.
So
we'll get into questions too, but I'm just going to mention while here, Game Fair this year, we will be there first weekend only. We've been for the last lots of years. I've been there both weekends. We will not this year. Kids, life, things. It's a lot of backing and forthing. One weekend, Kat and I will both be there.
And I know that we've had very gracious offers to stay up there. Thank you, Melanie and Dawn, for offering your guys' beautiful cabin. It's just also not, it's not that it's so much backing and forthing. We also can't be gone for that long from the kennel, and we usually have puppies and a business to run and things to do. Ethan struggles to even take more than 5 days off in a row for a vacation of some form. So being gone from a Thursday through the following Monday is lots more days than that, and he's like eye twitching thinking about that. I can already sense that. So
Yes.
Someday I really want him to commit to going on a Mediterranean cruise for like 15 days. I don't need you, Ethan. I've got Annie.
Oh.
I mean, I love you if you want to come, but I just want to go to the Mediterranean.
No, go for it. The next piece. So we talked about the mean seeds. We talked about kind of looking at water is a big misconception that we see. Looking at temperatures. Now the next thing is we've told like all of these things to not do. So basically in the summer you should hide your dog inside in the air conditioning and do nothing. No, we just have to make adjustments. And one of the adjustments that we make here, just to kind of put things into perspective, is we start a full hour earlier, and everybody hates us for about.
Yes.
Yes. It sucks. I mean, it's.
We did voluntarily do it. Jess and I voluntarily did it last week, but we were like,
This was fun.
Yeah, but we're into the 90 pluses,
Yep.
and
It's necessary to get it
About
get
a month.
the dogs worked.
is what it takes, and we can kind of get through it from the summer standpoint, but it allows all of the kind of day-to-day stuff to get done early so that you can start basically at sunrise, 5:45, 6 o'clock. You can be out there working dogs. And that's really, folks, at this point, what you need to be doing. Some people I know still are in the zone of it not even cooling down enough in the evening or overnight to be able to get there. And realistically, at that point, what is best is to do nothing, okay? And then you go, what do we do with the crazy monsters that can't do anything? That's where our indoor exercise is a really big thing. If you live in a metro area, there are such a thing as dog pools. Swimming is a great exercise, especially if you can encourage your dog to do it. And you can rent out time for that type of thing. Indoor doggy daycares are not a bad outlet for a day or so a week. To kind of give them the mental and physical stimulation of interacting and sniffing, because sniffing is a huge brain user, and you put them in a room with a bunch of other dogs, they have to sniff, play, interact a lot. The other side of it would be treadmills and slat mills. We have wanted a slat mill forever and ever and ever, and finally got them and love them.
And
we
the dogs.
means cat.
Yeah. Kat has like a whole list of things that she always wants. Water treadmill is next on the list. So watch out. We're going to get one. And Charles is going to figure out how to plumb it. So it'll be perfect. But the
Wire,
dogs
plumbing, same thing.
Basically.
stuff.
One just
circuits
travels stuff that
in
shocks
water,
you, and the other will
electricity.
drown you.
It's fine. But the slat mills, not only do we love, but the dogs love. They just love
Dogs love them.
working and
Absolutely
pulling and just
love
running at their own pace and pushing themselves, competing. Yukonuba came out, it's been a few weeks now, and did a filming thing. And we have a Jog-A-Dog treadmill. It's super industrial strength. It holds up to all the dogs that we run. It's not sweet, right? It's just pretty.
Yep.
You also don't love gin, so.
What is this one?
That's the honey.
Yeah, that one's way sweeter, and the apple's sweet, and it tastes like apples, appley.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
That's code word for that's enough.
Cade just goes, we want an apple. Sorry, baby. Not these apples. But I've heard really good things. I think Desiree has the Pacer, and she says that it works great for their
That's
dogs.
the one you can buy that on Amazon, right?
and it like folds in half, so it's like super.
Okay. I have said for a while that we were going to do a review on the Dog Pacer treadmill. Large dogs available. Dog Pacer. It's the 4.0. Full size. We don't want a mini Pacer. We want a full size one probably for large dogs. What is the... This one says... The The 4.0 does all the things. Goodness, they've gotten really expensive. Because it used to be like I say that, the one that we have, which is a commercial-based model, but it was closer to $3,000?
20-something, 2-something, I don't know.
$2,700 maybe?
Some. No,
Don't push
those
buttons. Don't push buttons, Bubba. I don't see, we'll have to see the sizing, but I think this large one is the one that we need.
What's the 3.1?
3.0 you're talking?
It says 3.1 is half the price.
Oh, the 4.0.
I'm not sure what the difference are.
3.1 full-size dog pacer, and it is not quite half the price, but it's close. It's like $250 cheaper. But then I got to pay for shipping.
Here, I can show. We can
pull it up here.
Everybody can see what we're looking at.
Yeah. So the 4. What do they have? Look at so the 4.0 you can buy on Amazon.
Amazon, yep.
Click on the 4.0 product one. View the product and the information on sizing. That's what you know. $800, same price on Amazon, free shipping. All right, so this is
1 to 179 pounds.
179 pounds.
Yep.
So I feel like
big dog.
It would be a big dog. It's just full size. Are there multiple sizes?
Yeah, I think some of the other one. I don't know.
Okay. It's added to the cart. Now, oh shoot, there's a lot of things in the cart. I can't just click buy now.
Usually Ethan just clicks it. There must be a good number on the total, or he would have just clicked buy now.
I just have to look and see what's.
And then Kat says, "I wasn't gonna buy all of that."
Oh, I was gonna buy those doggy.
You want
gates.
those size? All right, so we're good to go. Proceed to checkout. Here, don't live chat and Prime, folks. It's dangerous. Danger, Will Robinson.
So
okay, so
Bluetooth enabled with the 4.0, whatever that does.
Nice. Probably tell us how far the dog ran or something.
Or how fast.
Or speed.
Yeah.
That's one of the cool things about the slot mill is it tells you their speed.
With a what is that called?
There. It is
it's like the
confirmed, folks.
What's that thing called?
And 5 pounds of protein powder.
You know what I'm talking about, but we cannot think of it. What's the thing called?
It uses light to see.
It uses a magnet.
Or magnet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click. What's that called?
A pedometer.
Pedometer, basically.
Is that what it is?
Something. Yes,
all
I
right,
think you're close.
All of the rambling and the dog pacer 4.0 is on the way to Standing Stone Kennels, and I will review it, an odometer.
Oh, and Kaylin says she's got the pacer and love it for home use, but it would not hold up over time in a facility.
Okay, so we will do a full review video about a product that you can purchase and is drastically more affordable. I mean, it's a third of the price or less.
Let me know when that goes on the Standing Stone store.
The Standing Stone Marketplace?
The Marketplace.
I mean, it's not going to make the time that the video gets released on YouTube, probably. We just don't have a need for it with the commercial units here. So all of that being said, I've said I was going to do it because a lot of people are asking for a more affordable option. It's treadmill. Treadmill work is fantastic for like upper 90 percentile of dogs. There are a handful of dogs that hate it, but those dogs also hate working, period, which is not very many of the dogs of the people that are here. So all of that being said, look for the video in the coming weeks.
So we had a lot of time to talk about our topic of discussion, announcements, bingos. So now let's roll into some questions here for the last little bit. I'm scrolling because it's always like finding the questions when they start rolling in. There was one, I had seen one about a 4-month-old puppy losing its retrieving desire right here. Paula Cartwright said, ooh, and then we got a super chat. I will get that super chat as soon as I finish this question that I literally just started. And I lost it because it scrolled.
You're going the wrong way, babe.
Oh, dang it. So the great thing about YouTube is when more people start commenting, it like jumps, and then I'm trying to like find where my question was.
As another
wondering why my 4-month-old GSP used to love fetching and now not so much. I just found it, so I wanted to read it out loud. Now go ahead, Charles. Yes.
I was just gonna say another thing that you can do in the heat is and I think it's something I want to start playing with is scent work, like the detection, like the
because the nose work makes
so,
them think so
and also
much.
like you start doing like multi-layer hides, so stuff is up higher than they can reach, but they can smell it. And anyway,
We need to build a new
facility next year.
Put that on the Amazon cart.
By now.
I don't think it works that way.
If it did, I would be more. If I could
Yeah,
just
if I didn't have to like work
plan it
with
out and say this is what I
contractors
want, and then
building.
just say drop it off, I would be more apt to do it. But
Standing Stone General Contractors, here we come.
We are not
we've
far
got-
from it. This area could use some real contractors. I'm telling you what. Just people that do what they say they're going to do. It would. I mean, you don't even have to be good. You just have to say,
Show up.
"I'm gonna be
Answer
here,"
the phone.
and then you show up when you say you're gonna be there. So, we digress. But
Back to the question at hand.
Retrieving.
Wondering why my 4-month-old GSP used to love fetching and now not so much. So that's a great question.
there are 3 parts to this.
Oh. Go.
Yeah. So 4 months is the independence category that comes out. Usually they stop listening all the way around, and I'm sure you're seeing some of that, if not all of that, like running off, maybe kind of flipping you the bird, blowing you off a little bit. That can happen. The other side of it is you're rolling into the potential of teething. So they don't want to have things in the mouth because their mouth hurts. So we usually take a break in this zone of retrieving with our dogs. And then part 3 is, I had left part 3 for Kat, but really what it comes down to would just be, it could have something to do with the fact that you may be overdoing it. That's a pretty common thing that can happen. It's fun, so you do it a lot, and then all of a sudden
And
it's
if your
no
puppy
longer
likes
fun.
it, and it's like, this is something I can do with my puppy every afternoon, every evening, every day, and then your puppy's like, wow, this has been overdone. I want a new challenge. I want something more interesting,
Correct.
and they get over it. So
I'm guessing one of those 3 things, if not all 3 of those things, are part of your problem. And if they are, and you would like help, here's a Patreon plug, and/or we do one-off consults for folks that don't want to subscribe to things or whatever. I totally get that. Just shoot us an email, and I can get you a link to one or the other. But we do assistance, so I can be live in a training session with you and help evaluate what's actually going on and what are some things we can try to help improve. Last would be watch the Clay video series. He started off pretty meh about retrieving and kind of turned into a monster. He now lives in Canada and is loving life there. Oh, my goodness. We got young Patrick Mahomes in there cuddling the puppies. Well, be careful. He's going to pick one up and throw it across the room.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes, he's
pretty
a little
sweet
bit.
and gentle.
He is. He loves the puppies. He asks all the time, "Can we go see the puppies, Mommy?"
So another question that I saw. Oh wait, where do I get to my super chat? How do I click
that.
Oh, Aaron. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the super chat. Kat or Ethan, will you guys be doing a presentation at the game fair like last year? Also, Ethan and Charlie, do you guys plan on doing another Bourbon and Bird Dogs podcast? And always, you guys are awesome, and thank you. So last year, Yukonuba asked me to do a seminar. I don't think we've planned that far ahead yet. They haven't.
They have
necessarily-
seminar space.
They
If
have seminar
you're
space.
there, you'll do a seminar.
They'll probably have me do something. Otherwise, definitely stopping by the booth. I am happy to talk to you guys, explain things, do little mini seminars. Ethan is probably going to be at the DT Systems booth. I'm not sure if they've got any seminar space
Usually
selected.
don't. Yeah, usually don't.
But
they have in
again,
the past.
yeah,
so it
they
just
have before.
depends.
We've done them for DT before. So, but definitely you can stop by either of those booths the first weekend. They're usually just right down the row from each other, a few booths down, like 2 or 3.
Just far enough
spaces.
away to keep couples like us happy for the weekend.
Yes. And so definitely stop by, ask some questions, and meet the dogs because we'll be driving up. So we'll definitely have dogs. Haven't chosen who yet. So get your votes in now if you have anybody that you want us to bring. And then as far as like Bourbon and Bird Dogs podcasts, we are working
I have
on
the answer to that.
getting on some more podcasts.
Yeah. The next Bourbon and Bird Dogs specifically is Thunderbutt.
No.
It's been a year plus in the making.
I know. But we're
It
also
has
kind of
been.
waiting on his like finalizing his epic adventure through NAVHDA and seeing if we can get that prize one.
Holding it off till he's qualified for the Invitational, basically, is what it comes
right.
down to. So
Well, he will be.
I
so.
know he will be, but it's one of those things that once it's there, I think we've got a lot to talk about because he's an insane dog.
He's an interesting dude, that's for sure. He's
Everything that he has done, like on paper, is pretty nuts. So
Yeah.
it's we've got good notes for it that will be coming out. The other side of it is, and this is, I mean, these are projects and these are things. We are redoing this
Space.
space. Yep. So we'll have a little more official podcasty zone. And the hard part about this, folks, is we have to take everything down and put it all back up every time we do this, essentially. And so we're getting the equipment to be able to set up and be able to come and set down. And it seems silly, but it's a big mental block if it's like, all right, I've got this window to sit down and record a roughly hour-long podcast or whatever it may be. Sometimes the conversations go well. They do last upwards of an hour and a half to 2 hours, which gets to be a lot. But when it's a good conversation, we try and just let it flow. So all of that being said, if you have to add a bunch of time and setup in front of that, it gets harder to be able to make the time to do it. And we want to. People love to listen to them, so I would expect to see them. And it is the goal this summer to have the podcast zone set up.
and we have a few that are
in the backlog that
that
we're
are-
waiting to release. Yep.
Yeah, they're coming
Working
out
on
here
some
pretty quick.
reviews and finishing those up. Sunshine Detail. I got a lab pointer this year, and he's going on 8.5 months. Bought him a Momarsh Versa vest. Do they help them swim at all? I don't think that those have flotation inserts in the side panels at all. We do
The
have
Momarsh Versa vest. The only thing it's going to help with is it is neoprene. So you're getting a little bit of flotation, but it is not
Little
a
bit of
life jacket.
buoyancy. No.
Yeah, it's not a life jacket.
And we also have full-on life vests on our store, and people are like, oh, my dog shouldn't need a life vest. But honestly, the life vests are great if you're going to be boating and out on the water a lot. It's just a safety measure for the dogs, just
We
like it
put
would be
them
for
on
the
our
kids.
dogs.
And when you have a dog that's maybe a little splashy or like top flaily when they come to swimming, it'll help them kind of just like balance out and learn to use their back legs a little more confidently. It's a great option to like literally help a dog learn to swim properly and not wear them out or get them overly anxious. So I highly recommend utilizing an actual life vest if your dog is struggling with learning how to swim with both their front and back legs equally, or if you're doing any amount of boating, kayaking, outdoor lake adventuring. Kind of waking up and playing a little bit, guys. Slept for an hour, play for a little bit. So let's see how that goes. Looking for another quick question.
Go.
Egregious blunder. Been meaning to ask you guys how to market my soon-to-be 2-year-old male as a stud. How does one get into that? Any suggestions? So the thing that we would recommend as far as
Ethan's brutally honest
I
comment.
know.
It will be very difficult. That being said, people look at us from a standpoint of having a name and being known and all of those things. And I think the number of times that I stud our dogs out is very... Oh, you got Thunderbutt on there. You got to check your little Thunderbutt
Well,
box.
bingo's already done.
Oh.
But
Um,
that's a good one to check. So.
Yeah, Ethan's brutally honest comment. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
We don't get
Don't
more than
plan
a
on
few requests.
retiring on your stud fees. If you get a handful of them, fantastic. But we don't even do very many at the quote unquote level that we are at. So,
And if you're going to be doing it right, you need to, once they're 2, go through all their health clearances. Is it a short? I don't know if it's a short hair, I guess, actually. But just for sake of argument, let's say it's a short hair. You're going to want to go through your health clearances to get a chick certification number. You need to do hips, elbows, eyes, cardiac, and then you need to do DNA for von Wildebrands and cone degeneration.
and there's some optionals in there.
Is optional. So, right. And so when you do the DNA swab, it's a DNA swab, and it gives you all the results. So though it is
You also
optional.
do a thyroid test. It's optional.
Yep,
as well.
thyroid test is optional, but that is a fasted blood test, and so it's additional to what you would do. But when you're doing the DNA test, you're going to get the results for both von Wildebrands and cone degeneration, so you've already got it by doing the DNA. So you want to do a minimum of those things, and then depending on the breed of your dog and also, you know, what you are looking to prove that that dog can do and add to, you know, as a sire, add to the dam to create these really nice litters and puppies, you're going to want to prove that they are, you know, if you're looking to do something with show dogs, that they are, you know, in the show ring. If you're looking to do something as a hunting dog, some form of hunting test qualification would be something that would prove that the dog is a quality stud. Yes, you can take your dog hunting. Yes, your dog can be really well put together and beautiful, but you want to make sure that you're proving that through standardized testing options as well.
There are more questions here. I'm going to give you rapid fire, 10 seconds or less to answer. What vaccinations are most important for a GSP puppy?
Rabies, then distemper,
Seven-way.
parvovirus, and
7-way.
No, you just have 10
rabies.
seconds. Whatever your veterinarian recommends. Okay, that's fine. How do you know when my dog needs and are ready for force fetched? I got her a years old and trying to build drive as well.
I would build natural drive as much as you can, and then anytime after 10 months old, you can start the formal retrieving process.
8 to 10 months old.
You got this.
Check out our course. Totally. Our dogs are going from Alberta to Texas. That's going to be a huge change. Crazy.
And then back to Kansas for puppy pickup.
Yep. Melanie won the bingo this evening. Fantastico. Any tips on getting a dog to drink? Thanks for playing. You need to, just in case you don't know, just while we're here, shoot me a message on Patreon, and I will get your info and get things out to you. Haha.
Tips on getting a dog to drink from a water bottle in the field. Yes, squirt bottle, water bottle. I really love the Gatorade ones from the gas station, and then you pour out the Gatorade, put in the water. The twist tops are great because they can't lick the thing closed, and then you pull up on the dog's lip. I would do it to Ethan, but he'd give me really weird looks. And then you squirt the water across their gums. Don't try and shoot it down their throats. They're going to choke and gag on it. You don't want to do that. We don't then need them aspirating their water. And basically take your water bottle to the field every single time you go and practice.
Minnesota humidity is awful. Go.
Yes.
What size mask do you use? We answered that medium. South Dakota is checking in late. Sucks to be South Dakota, except for all the time. It is
And you can rewatch. So
Is this a new thing? I've never seen that before. The masks are not new, but they're not very well known.
if that's what the question is in regards to, who knows?
Don't know. It says, Ethan, you know, if you got goats, they could be
A kind of lawnmower. One less thing you'd have to worry about on vacation. Agreed.
We just talked about this. He doesn't have to worry about the lawn anyway.
Yeah, I know.
And it says, last thing,
Delegate.
Kat's shirt is greater than Ethan's hat.
I got a Steel City shirt. We got this from a client.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it says Steel City, Pittsburgh. What did
That's
I say?
what they call Pittsburgh. It's
Yeah.
the
Oh
Steel
no, I
City.
knew it was a
Oh, okay,
Pittsburgh
okay.
shirt. I just was like, what did I say wrong? A gift from a client.
And last but not least, a shout out to Logan in the shipping department. He said everything goes out quick, 5-star for customer service. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I would agree with you wholeheartedly.
Alrighty, folks. We're out of alcohol in our cups, at least. And we're out of time for the evening with the small chillin' sitting over there playing. They need to go to bed. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this evening. We enjoy doing this, and we will be back next month. I am the guy with the pink gun.
I'm Kat, the dog trainer. This is the muddy Arlo litter that finally decided to wake up and play. And we'll see you next time.